Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Tuesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about today is the controversy and scandal surrounding Tomi Lahren. Tomi, if you don't know, has a nightly talk show on Glenn Beck's The Blaze. If that still doesn't sound familiar, you've most likely heard her at some point on Facebook saying,
The snowflakes, 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 snowflakes.
hate snowflakes and liberals, and she's gonna yell about it, and she is blown up over the past year. Well, she did something the other day that has a lot of her conservative support bashing her, and that was when she went on the show The View, she said this.
I'm pro-choice, and here's why. I am a constitutional, someone that loves the Constitution. I am someone that's for limited government, and so I can't sit here and be a hypocrite and say I'm for limited government, but I think that the government should decide what women do with their bodies. I can sit here and say that as a Republican, and I can say, you know what, I'm for limited government, so stay out of my guns, and you can stay out of my body as well.
And there was a lot of backlash because in general, most conservatives are against abortion. They don't see it about a woman making a choice about a baby in the future or the removal of cells. They see someone killing a baby. And this is a massive debate for a ton of people. So she got a ton of hate, people saying, I can't believe I supported you, you're pro-baby killing, can't believe you're in favor of infanticide. Even Glenn Beck chiming in, tweeting, rule another label out. I am not a constitutional. I believe in life, liberty, and property. Just an old-fashioned constitutionalist. Then I saw a lot of liberal people that were cheering Tomi getting all this hate, which is also kind of funny to me because they're happy Tomi Lahren's getting hate, but it's because that she has a view that a lot of them agree with. But I guess they still see it as the comeuppance for her saying a lot of the other stuff that they don't like. But also something I want to put out there is just because someone says they're a Republican or a Democrat, we shouldn't lock them into a specific box. According to the Pew Research Center last year, yes, while a majority of Republicans believe that abortion should be legal in most cases, 34% actually believe that it should be legal in most cases. With independents, the support jumps to 60%, and with Democrats, it jumps to 79%. But a big thing to note there are still 18% of Democrats in this poll that think abortion should be illegal in most cases. We often think of both parties in their most extreme viewpoints, and it's important to remember that people in general, their beliefs exist on a spectrum. There are definitely trends and certain locked-in beliefs that go with other beliefs. You should never really expect to agree with someone on every topic. Now that said, Tomi Lahren has also come under fire for a different reason, not because she has this opinion, but people are pointing to another video saying Tomi Lahren is a hypocrite, she doesn't stand for anything, and she says whatever to just try to get the most views possible. And it's this video where she says this.
Pro-choicers are supposed to be about rare and safe abortions. That's how they avoid sounding like straight-up baby killers, by acknowledging abortion is not a positive thing and a difficult choice. Then we have Lena freaking Dunham out there wishing she could have murdered a fetus, wishing for the option to kill your child. Doesn't exactly say much about the cause, her character, or the pro-choice movement.
So on top of Lena Dunham, she bashes the pro-choice movement in general as baby killers. But then she goes on The View, she abandons the phrase that this is baby killing and uses it as a place to say the government shouldn't be involved. Later tweeting, listen, I'm not glorifying abortion. I don't personally advocate for it. I just don't think it's the government's place to dictate. But of course, the argument people are putting across is if you're saying that it is baby killing. Right, to cut back to a different video, Glenn Beck tweeted this one out that showed Tomi and other women mocking other women who say it's my choice, where they make jokes about whether it's 1 month into a pregnancy and they decide to abort, or the kids being annoying after soccer practice. It's the mother's choice. Right, that mindset is that there is a person inside of a woman. And that's the main argument from pro-lifers. It's not about a woman's choice, it's about the choice of the baby. That whether the baby is inside of the mother or outside of the mother after birth, that baby has rights. The idea being that if a mother drowns her baby in a bathtub, she's killing a baby, which she should not legally be allowed to do, and they see abortion as the same thing. So that's why many have been calling her a hypocrite and going at her for her beliefs. And on top of all the hate that's being spewed right now, on top of the debating, reports came out that she was suspended from her show this week. And if that's true, I gotta say, I don't understand the move, because if you've ever listened to Glenn Beck talk about this topic, he says he doesn't hire people that just believe what he believes. He says he brings people in because he wants different people to be able to argue their point so that people can have a real conversation.
If you're pro-choice, you can have a job at the Blaze. I don't hire people who are sycophants or who have my opinion.
So then, if the allegations are true that they did suspend Tomi Lahren this week, how does that make sense? Whether she said something that you don't agree with, she said something that proves she's a hypocrite, how does shutting her down not make you a hypocrite? I don't know, all this infighting and the shouts from the sideline, it's a very interesting situation. So with that said, I want to pass the question off to you. What is your opinion on this? Do you think what she's saying makes sense? Do you think she went too far calling people hypocrites? Or do you think, no, she's a hypocrite, she doesn't believe what she's saying, saying she's going for views. Just really any thoughts you get from this, I'd love to know what you think. And from there, I want to share some stuff I love today, and Today in Awesome brought to you by the Sports Shirt. A shirt that says, I don't understand what these people are doing with that ball, but thank you for inviting me to the party. I hope the person and or team you like wins. You could also lie to me about the rules, and I'll just go along with it. I know that design's one of your favorites, so I thought I'd bring it back for a little bit. And the first bit of awesome is if you have Netflix, Dave Chappelle has 2 new comedy specials that just came out. I have 20 minutes left to finish the second one, but I gotta say, everything I've seen so far, I loved it. I know comedy is subjective, but if you like Dave Chappelle, boom, or Dave Chappelle. Then, if you're a fan of horrifying nuclear explosion porn, dozens of now declassified videos from the 1950s and 1960s of the United States testing nukes has been uploaded to YouTube. It is horrifying. Then we got video of Jake Gyllenhaal and Ryan Reynolds losing it during an interview. Then today we got some more super hot fire, and if you don't know what that reference is, don't worry about it. It's just for those that do. And then really quick, I just want to give a shout out to everyone who created, promoted, is involved with Love Army for Somalia. And to oversimplify this campaign, people saw that there were people suffering, not having access to water, to food. So they came up with the idea to let's raise money so we can buy food and we can buy water, and let's try and convince Turkish Airlines to fly it to Somalia. And Turkish Airlines said, yeah, we love Somalia, let's do this. And reportedly, not only did they agree to do a full cargo flight, talking about 60 tons of food, but they also reportedly agreed to transfer 140 tons of food spread over the next 6 months. And as far as how much money they raised for all that food and water, well, as of recording this video, it is at $1.989 million. It is about to pass $2 million. And I just want to spread that story because it's a story of love, of people that didn't have to do something that did something. And I think it's important we acknowledge when these good things happen, because otherwise we can have a pretty dark view of the world. And also, if you want to help push it over that 2 million number, or you want to promote it, link to that down below. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And then let's talk about YouTube, because you cynical bastards won't believe this. YouTube apologized and admitted there was a problem. That is not a joke. That is a thing that happened. They said, quote, "We're sorry and we're going to fix it." Now, just in case there are people that are not aware of the relationship many of us have with YouTube, this is akin to waking up and seeing Donald Trump tweet, "Hey, you know what? I just realized I've been kind of a dick for a bit. Also, some of the negative things about me in the news aren't fake news." You'd be like, what is happening? Did Donald Trump get hacked? But they did it initially tweeting, "Sorry for all the confusion with restricted mode. Some videos have been incorrectly labeled and that's not right. We're on it. More to come." If you don't know, restricted mode is a setting on YouTube that is supposed to block mature content on YouTube. Then in the past week, a lot of people realized that a ton of people are blocked seemingly for not the best reasons. And then the story really blew up when LGBT creators realized that when they talked about their sexuality, like them realizing that they were gay, or someone talking about their transition from a man to a woman or something like that, those videos were being removed under restricted mode, and they were saying, well, just me explaining my life, how does that make me too adult? Not appropriate. And then later, YouTube put out a statement on their blog, writing, "We understand that this has been confusing and upsetting, and many of you have raised concerns about restricted mode and your content being unfairly impacted. The bottom line is that this feature isn't working the way it should. We're sorry and we're going to fix it. We designed this feature to broadly restrict content across more mature topics, whether these are videos that contain profanity, those that depict images or depictions of violence, or discussion of certain diseases like addictions and eating disorders. Today, about 1.5% of YouTube's daily views come from people who have restricted mode turned on, but we know this isn't about the numbers. It's about the principle of anyone having access to important content and different points of view." They then provide examples of videos they got it wrong on, and ending on the note of, "It will take us time to fully audit our technology and roll out new changes, so please bear with us." And if you've watched the show for a while, you know I am hypercritical of YouTube, but I also love them. And while I commend them that something on their site is not working as intended and that they apologize, I know that for a lot of people that's not enough. I didn't even realize it had been available for this long, but this has been a feature since 2010. And it's one thing to say that the system is not working as intended. When you go into YouTube's own policy center, it says a video is not automatically filtered from restricted mode. Flagged videos are reviewed by our team for violations of the community guidelines, and videos that are age restricted as part of that process will not appear for users that have restricted mode turned on. But to that I say, out of the over 2,000 videos I have uploaded to this channel over my entire career, not one of them is viewable on restricted mode. That's a ridiculous thought. You had people manually go through my entire archive and go no to every single video. It kind of seems like your policy page is lying to me. But I'm going to turn off cynical Phil for a second and switch back to positive Phil, and just once again, thank you, YouTube, for acknowledging that something on your site was not working as intended and saying you're going to fix it. Now we go into the realm of words are words, actions are actions. And many of us who continue to watch, who are rooting for you, will hold you accountable based on your actions in the future. And then one of the most requested stories today, let's talk about SourceFed. If you didn't see last night, the YouTube channel SourceFed announced that SourceFed, SourceFed Nerd, and the channel People Be Like are being canceled. Now, if you're new here and you're wondering why people are asking me this question, it's because over 5+ years ago, I created SourceFed and then later SourceFed SourceFed nerd. But a big thing to note moving forward, and I've said this on other occasions when people ask me about the content of their videos or decisions or whatever, I have not been involved in nor made choices on those channels for the longest time. And that was always kind of the intent. Now, for you long-timers who know what the original content was and what it is now, you know that it's pretty much a completely different channel, both in content and the people running it. Like, I hand-selected the first 6 hosts for those channels, but the change was also kind of the point of the experiment. From the beginning, my goal with SourceFed was to have whoever was producing and hosting that show drive that show. And of course, it's going to change over time. Initially, it was myself and a producer, then the host. Then, because the funding for the YouTube channels ran out and I was paying for the channels out of my own pocket and it was burning a hole, it was not profitable at that time. I talked to and sold a bunch of channels to Discovery Digital Networks and Revision 3. That relationship continued for a while. I became less involved until I was completely not involved. Now it's 2017. The situation has changed further. There was a merger of a bunch of different channels and networks into a thing called Group 9. Group 9 is now who owns and makes decisions regarding those properties. So those asking, Phil, why did you shut down SourceFed? I didn't make that decision. Also, in connection to this, there was a TubeFilter article that talked about this that said that the reason that I took time off was to deal with this. That's not the case because I haven't had input on that channel in a very long time. My time off last week had everything to do with the future of my show, my career, and my channels. If you've watched the show for the past year, you know that I have some new lofty goals. And the show and channel are doing better than ever, and it's the prime time to do it, so I'm just trying to do that. And going into that further right now would not be the most professional thing I could do right now, so that's where I'm gonna leave that. That said, the final note I wanna say here, and I'll say it with this picture that I found yesterday. I think I was finalizing a post schedule and our original hosts in this picture, in that big empty office. All our rides and ventures end at some point, and it is that journey and the experiences you have with people that really make it special. Creating something from nothing, putting your reputation on the line, finding fantastic people to all work together to make an even more fantastic thing. And the only thing that sucks is it probably didn't come across to the people that I employed and brought into this, but I felt very much privileged to work with such fantastic people. And that's where I'll leave that. And that's actually where I'm gonna end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, if the week off got you out of whack, you missed yesterday's show, you can click or tap right there to watch that. If you wanna see the brand new vlog that was posted yesterday, but it'll be new to you, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.